Center Cooking with Honey Pat.
Yeah.
And today we're going to be doing cornbread dressing and sweet potato casserole. And these are some of the things that I do ahead of time because I don't have enough stamina to do it all in one day. So we're going to do this to the point of putting in the freezer. But I do have some in the oven for us to sample.
Yay.
So the first thing, we're going to start off with 2 sticks of butter in this big giant skillet.
Right.
And 1 giant onion, because this is cooking for a crowd. You can do 2 medium or small, but this happens to be 1 giant onion. And so we're going to let that cook while we're getting to the sweet potato casserole.
All right.
I told Reverend PJ, our occasional camera woman, that I was going to put a banana and rum in the sweet potato casserole, and this is what she did.
I did.
But we're going to do it anyway, because you really can't tell the bananas in there. It's just a little tang that you don't even know what it is, and you're wondering, what is different about this?
Very good.
So we're going to put the banana in the food processor, mush it all up, because I like the easy way of doing things. Forget the mashing with the forks and all that. That's a pain in the you-know-what. So we're going to put that in there. And we're going to put in this cup of sugar, white sugar. We're going to put in 2 eggs. Oh well.
Oh well.
We'll get it later. Wait. Now I'm going to give this a whirl.
Perhaps.
First, however,
You need to plug it in.
I am going to plug it in. I had it plugged in. Why isn't it working? Okay. They won't work if they're not on there secure, so try that.
Turn it all the way the other way, Pat? Turn it all the way. Turn the top all the way the other way.
I know what it is.
What is it?
If this isn't poking down the hole in the
There you
back,
go.
it's a common mistake I make all the time.
There it is. No, it's a good safety issue.
Huh?
It's a good safety issue. You know, chop up stuff you don't really intend to chop up.
This way the banana is going to get crunched up really, really good.
Is that a frozen banana or fresh?
Fresh. Okay. And then earlier today, I roasted 3 sweet potatoes.
Okay.
Some people peel them and boil them like mashed potatoes, but for me that seems to, the flavor leaches out into the water, and then the sweet potato casserole is anemic.
So you roast it and then you pull
I just
out,
pull
then
the
you
skin
pull
off.
the skin off. You roast it and pull the skin off after it's done. Okay.
For how long at what temp?
Until I put them in at 350,
Yeah.
and it takes as long as it takes, and you pinch them, and when they're soft, they're done.
Good.
Okay.
It was about an hour and a half because I had actually had 4 in there, but I needed to make the sample up.
So it's pretty much like baking a potato.
Okay, now we're going to put in these 3 whole sweet potatoes,
Okay.
1 tablespoon of rum,
Ha ha! Secret ingredient.
and let's see what this is. Salt. Half a teaspoon of salt, sugar, mashed potatoes, and shoot, hot. And a half a cup of melted butter.
All right. Excellent.
And we're going to give it another whirl.
blade do you have in there?
What?
What blade do you have in the blender?
What?
What kind of blade do you have in the blender? Is it just stirring it or is it chopping in it? What's it doing?
It's the blade that comes with it.
Oh, well, there you go. All right.
I don't know.
All right. We'll take that out and take a look in a minute.
Okay. Now that was easy enough.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello. And now we're going to put this
Wait. Yeah.
in this baking dish that I've lined with plastic.
Baking this with plastic. Interesting.
Because I might want to use my baking dish again between now and Thanksgiving. So I'm going to freeze this to the shape of the baking dish. And when it's frozen, I'll put it in a gallon baggie.
Very good. So you're not putting it in the oven
darn.
No.
lined with plastic.
Now you could, wait, can I have my lid back? It's not all mushed up.
I don't think soap suds would work.
Okay, the onions are cooking.
Good.
I'm gonna turn them on down low.
So we get the soap suds off.
It doesn't have to get clean.
Oh, no.
Yeah, no, 'cause the soap suds aren't gonna touch it.
The soap suds. Wait a minute, here.
This is why we call this amateur hour.
This is called fun time.
Yeah. But you know that if you're in your kitchen doing this, you're gonna do the same
This
thing.
is exactly how it's gonna
Oh,
go.
absolutely.
You're gonna drop the eggshell on the floor. This isn't gonna be mushed up enough.
Okay.
The only thing at home, you won't have Connie.
No, you won't, because I'll be sitting over there watching.
I'm gonna make sure this,
Yeah.
Okay, so it pours out like a batter.
yeah.
All right.
And
I never
because it
thought
has
of that.
eggs in it, it's gonna fluff up and firm up.
Okay. Almost like a cake. Custard, something.
Look at that.
If you were making this for a big crowd, you could just,
So you didn't put any vanilla or anything like that in there, just its own?
no, the original recipe called for vanilla,
Uh-huh.
but because,
Connie, pull that blade out so we can see what kind of blade that is.
here, my fingers are already dirty.
So it's just a regular chopping blade.
Right,
Okay, so it's not a mixing blade or anything that you use for a cake or anything. It's just a regular chopping blade. Okay,
right.
cool.
It's a stirring up blade.
Good.
And now, we're gonna freeze it at this point.
The
We're
syrup
gonna just
up.
fold that over.
That's very clever.
And
To
I'm
freeze
just
it
gonna, the
with the
freezer's
plastic.
outside in the garage, so I'm just gonna put this on the kitchen table. Actually, Connie's gonna.
Connie's
do
gonna
it.
take it out and do it. Yeah.
Now,
There you
it actually calls for a crust.
go. Okay.
And
Oh,
so
wait a
I
minute,
will
I wanna
prepare
watch
the
that.
crust, but I'll just put it in the refrigerator and hold it until I'm ready for it.
Okay.
So it's got let's see, a cup of brown sugar, a third of a cup of flour, a cup of chopped nuts.
What kind of nuts do you use? Does it matter?
Pecans.
Pecans?
Yeah,
Pecans
this is
are-
Texas. And then a quarter of a cup of melted butter.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So you just stir that up and get it all mixed up really good.
We just kind of making like a little crumbly thing?
Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
And that goes on top
and
of
that,
it?
you sprinkle that on top. And later when we're ready, we'll get out the one that's already cooked and you can see how it looks.
Okay.
Here.
All right.
So then when Thanksgiving Day comes, we'll bring that out the night before, let it defrost, and it'll all be ready and you won't have to worry about a thing.
So you have to defrost it before you could put it in the oven.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you didn't defrost it,
Yeah.
It wouldn't cook evenly.
Got it.
Because it'd still be frozen in the middle or
Okay.
whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
So you can take it out the night before, yeah? And sit it in the bottom of the refrigerator?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
there.
Oh, take it off. Got it.
Right. Okay.
All right. That was pretty quick.
Now, back to
Once everything was
the
all chopped up.
dressing.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's see what
Okay.
we got going.
Now, I don't have a mixing bowl big enough, so I'm going to put my roaster in there.
Okay.
And this is a loaf and a half of dry
Wow. A
white,
loaf?
a loaf and a half, or 6 cups maybe of just white bread, like what we used to call light bread. Now, if you remember last week when I made the cornbread,
Yes.
I cooked it in this pan and made it flat,
Right.
so I could just cube it like that, and the little breads weren't any higher than that.
And that's what that is? It says white bread and cornbread?
Not yet.
Ah.
Remember last time we made white cornbread, and I wasn't sure. I didn't want. I had some, and I'm going to use it, but I made it my way.
So tell me about the white bread again. Is it toasted or is it just stale?
What I do, you can either take the bread and put it in the oven and let it dry on low, unless
Okay.
you're like me that walks off and leaves it.
So
Then
a
you get
timer.
really brown white bread. So I get a tablecloth, a clean tablecloth, and put it over the table, and I lay the bread out for a few days.
Okay. Nice.
And let it dry, and then I cube it. And the reason you want it to be dry is because if it weren't dry, when you get ready to put it together, it would be so soft that when you got through, you would have liquid mush.
Okay. These are good tips.
And then it would be like a brick.
Okay. Okay.
And what you don't want is for it to do that. I know in some restaurants I've had bread pudding,
Yes.
and it's like a brick, and they don't know. But you toss it
Okay.
with the liquid.
Okay. Well, that is a lot of bread.
Yeah.
So you have white
Okay.
cornbread, yellow cornbread, and dry white bread.
And it's all been dried. All the cubes are dry. And now I'm going to put the celery in here because I like when I eat the dressing, I want a crunch in my mouth.
Okay. All right.
And you know what? I think I got way too much.
I think you got a lot there.
I only have 2 sticks of butter in here. So I'm going to take some of this out.
Very
I
good.
didn't plan it this way, but like I said, if you're at home, you've done this too. We're just going to put some of it aside and
So you're using the celery fresh in there. You didn't cook it with the onions and stuff.
no.
Okay.
I mean, I used to put it in and let it saute,
Uh-huh.
but because I like the crunch, you're going to cook it while you're baking.
So that's a personal taste. If you want it crunchy, then do it this
Yeah.
way. If you want
Or
it
you can
soft,
put it in there and
then put
saute
it.
it.
Okay. Very good.
And the other thing, I have 3 tablespoons of ground sage.
Ah.
And you're going to let that cook in the butter to help release the essential oils of the herb, whatever it is.
Yeah. Flavors, whatever. Or the sage. Yeah. Nice.
Okay,
All right.
let's take some of this stuff out of here.
Did you just see what she did with that wooden spoon?
No. What did you do?
I was going to do it with the spoon, but it wasn't fastened.
Oh, just put it in the end of the handle there.
Well, that way then I don't have to make a mess on my counter.
I'm constantly trying to find some place to put spoons and stops, and so that's good.
This wasn't planned in rehearsal.
It's a live show. What are you gonna
It
do?
is what
it's
it
a live
is.
show. It's gonna do what it's gonna do, and that's what
Okay.
cooking is.
Now let's put this in there.
And so does it really matter, like you took some bread and stuff out, so does it really matter, like if you have to have 3 cups of cornbread and 3 cups,
No.
it doesn't really matter, just get it all in there. Yep, okay, very good.
But if you're a novice cook,
Yeah.
then
You're gonna what?
start by doing the directions.
Okay.
So we're gonna toss all that up in a.
How many celery cubes or celery sticks did
Okay,
you?
I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
This much.
Use the whole bag.
I used the whole thing.
Okay.
I put it in my food processor and sliced it up.
Leaves and all?
Everything except this bottom
That bottom
portion,
white part?
which I saved to cubed it up, the bottom portion because it's so flavorful, and I put it aside for a stew.
Okay.
Don't waste anything in the kitchen because you're throwing flavor into the trash.
Okay. All right.
Now we're getting ready for Thanksgiving, and we were going to talk a little bit about how that giving thanks changes
Yes.
your body, it heals you.
Yes.
I know that in typical literature, spirit is also often represented by water.
Yes.
And so when we learn about water, we learn the dangers of water, we learn how to use it. You know, in the olden days, they harnessed water to make a mill,
Yes.
and you ground your flour.
Yep.
Spirit's the same way. You become intimate with it and you learn how it works. And part of becoming intimate is conversing. We know that Reverend PJ has a personal relationship with Spirit.
Okay.
She even has given it her own special name. And that's what you do. You develop a relationship with Spirit like it's a love affair, like you're courting. And so part of that, if your lover gave you a gift, what would you do? You say, go away. No, I don't think so. You say thank you. So you begin to converse with Spirit. Spirit converses with you. And when you're saying thank you, there's something within you that's transformed, and you feel light in your cells. You just forget everything else.
Yeah.
You can't gripe and be thankful at the same time. Okay, now, here we have the 2 sticks of butter, onions. Wait, I'm forgetting something.
Okay.
Stop right there. Hold the press.
Stop. Pause.
It didn't look liquid enough. Okay, here we go. In my handy dandy blender, I turn the fire off under them. And you know I hate chopping parsley. So that's what this is for. So let's just take a big clump off of it. There. Eggs.
Eggs.
You're making bread pudding.
Okay, very
Really,
good.
it's savory bread pudding.
All right.
Okay. Now there's a seasoning called poultry seasoning. I didn't have any, so I'm going to this chicken better than bouillon. If you're going to have to use bouillon, this is probably your best product. And I'm going to put a teaspoon of that in there to enhance the poultry flavoring.
So how much poultry seasoning would you put in if you had it?
With this amount, I'd probably use a couple of tablespoons.
A couple of tablespoons, okay. And using that whole quart.
I am going to use the whole thing, but I'm not going to use it. I'm not going to fill my blender up with it because I don't want to spray all over everything. There. We'll just put the rest of it in here.
Okay.
Thank you, Connie. And then we'll seal this up, chop up all that parsley and beat those eggs. I know I've read a lot of recipes from Southern cooks, using things like mushroom soup.
Yes.
Or purchased cornbread
Yes, squares,
cubes,
yeah.
or purchased bread cubes. But you can do that if it'll make your life easier, but I think it's better this way to have the real thing.
Is it still off or did you turn that back on?
Yeah, no, this is off. It's ready to be poured into this. Also, at this point, like Connie was saying earlier, she grew up with oyster dressing.
You're right.
In the South, we frequently put breakfast sausage crumbled up in it.
That's correct.
Or some people put pecans in it.
Yeah.
So this was the point where whatever your family's tradition is, put it in at this point. I am a purist and I just like it this way. Okay.
All right. Wow.
We'll toss that up.
Now, what
Notice
if you,
I'm not stirring.
you're not, yeah. What if you didn't have enough juice? Would you just make some more of that blenders?
Yeah, I just make,
Just add some more
right,
broth? Okay.
which I probably will.
Okay.
Do you have any more chicken stock?
Huh?
Do you have any more chicken stock?
I do. It's in the garage, and I shall. It looks like this is coming out a little dry. So Connie made a good point. This is, although there's some liquid down in there.
It might be enough, yeah.
I tell you what, I'm not going to put extra liquid in it at this time,
Right.
because I know I'm going to freeze it.
Right.
Ah,
When I get it in the pan to bake, which because we usually go someplace, I'll put it in one of those portable pans.
Okay.
Or if I'm making it at home, then I have the turkey, and at the bottom of the turkey pan, you have all that lovely liquid.
Yes. Yes.
So I would prefer to do that.
Okay.
okay.
I'm just going to get it mixed, ready to go. And
And what are you looking for? How do you know you have enough? Like it's not too soggy or not? What is it?
Right.
What's the texture going to look like?
it's going to see how the
Okay.
the
Okay. It's kind of
the
sticks. It
cubes,
doesn't.
some of the cubes are intact, some of them are not. But that's been stirred enough.
Okay.
Any more, and I would be murdering my. It's a delicate touch. It's really like so many things in cooking. It's technique. So I'm going to just put this aside. I've got these freezer things, and I'm going to put them in these gallons. Looks like it would take both of these.
Yep.
Put them in the freezer the night before Thanksgiving. Pull it out, and then put it in your baking dish, and bam,
Done.
you got dressing, and you don't have to worry yourself all out.
And what degree and how long do you cook it?
Usually cook at 350, and for the size pan that would accommodate this, I would cook it probably for an hour.
Okay.
I might do it at 300. The other thing that I would do, even though it already has 2 cups of butter, or two sticks of butter, I would butter the top.
Oh.
And then I would probably put foil over it until the last 15 minutes.
Okay.
Because the tops won't get brown and crusty.
When you say butter the tops, are you just cutting them into
Yeah,
chunks and then
put
cut?
sprinkle butter all over
Sprinkle the
it.
butter. Okay. Got it.
There's 100 ways to do that, whatever works for you.
Okay.
So we're going to put this over here out of the way,
Excellent.
and then we're going to take the samples out of the oven.
Nice.
Here, oh,
There.
All right.
And
Let's see.
you have,
What have we here?
ouch, hot. Here is a sweet potato casserole, and because it had those eggs in there, it
Look at
puffed
that.
up.
Nice.
It was flat like the one we put aside
Yeah.
for the freezer.
Nice.
And here's the dressing. There. that this is not cooked enough,
Ah, okay.
which is what happens sometimes. But see, I'm gonna put it back in
Okay.
for about 10 more minutes,
Very good.
but you'll see how the cubes are still intact. See
Yes.
that?
Yes.
And it's moist, it's not like a brick. So we'll put that back in a minute. And,
Can we leave the lid off?
yes, thank you, good idea. Now let me get the, we're gonna see what the sweet potato casserole is. Since PJ doesn't eat after 6 in the evening,
That is correct.
she's gonna have to wait and find out how it works with the
It looks
bananas.
delicious.
You see that?
Look at that. Gorgeous.
You have that crunchy top and the, here, Connie will try it.
Give it to Mike.
Okay, give it Mikey. He'll eat it.
He'll eat
Anything.
Mikey, you'll eat it.
Tell me if you can taste the banana, or the rum.
Oops.
Or the rug?
Rum,
Oh, run.
or the rum. Too hot? Sorry, it just
Hot.
tastes hot.
No.
Can't take the rub.
Or the banana.
Well, that's too bad.
Well, it would overpower it.
Hmm.
So anyway, there you have it.
All
2
right.
side dishes for your Thanksgiving meal. You can start now and not work yourself into a frenzy on
Beautiful.
Thanksgiving Day.
Excellent. Thank
And
you so
then-
much, honey Pat.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Hey, I'm going to talk about Thanksgiving on the 29th of November for the Sunday service.
Okay.
So you're going to find out all the little secrets about
Oh, good.
Beautiful. And so we are not going to be here. We're going to be dark for the 4th
Yes.
Wednesday this month. We'll be back again for the second Wednesday in December. All right. So
Which
this
I don't know what I'm going to do, but
it'll be
it'll
something
be
great.
lovely.
Cooking with honey pat. I think a ham because it's going to be around Christmas time. Yeah.
Oh, everybody can cook a ham. There's no technique
Really?
to it.
I can't. Mine comes out dry and all whatever.
Oh, okay.
That's what good cooks say. Ah, it's easy.
Well,
Everybody
let me
does that.
think about it. Let me think about it.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody. Mwah, mwah, mwah. Bye. Thank you.